In an era of economic uncertainty and rapidly shifting tides, Australia has been an island of relative tranquility. The latest jobs report released on Thursday revealed the nation's labor market remains unexpectedly sturdy in the face of rising interest rates and high levels of immigration. The Australian economy added 39,700 jobs last month, with the bulk being full-time positions. This exceeded economists' expectations of a 30,000 gain. More remarkably, the unemployment rate ticked down to 4% from 4.1%, even as over 600,000 people remain jobless, nearly 110,000 fewer than before the pandemic struck. These figures painted a portrait of resilience that few would have anticipated amid the Reserve Bank of Australia's aggressive tightening cycle aimed at cooling stubbornly high inflation. The central bank has raised its benchmark rate to 4.35%, the highest level in 12 years, tightening financial conditions to apply the brakes on an overheating economy. Yet Australia's labour force has thus far absorbed these rate hikes with aplomb. While higher borrowing costs have begun to weigh on consumer spending, the job market's buoyancy has provided a steady tailwind, bolstering household incomes and confidence. Australia's labour market remains tight, with low unemployment and strong job creation helping households navigate an otherwise challenging economic environment, remarked Callum Pickering, an economist at the global job site Indeed. He added that the figures appear consistent with the Reserve Bank's expectations. Central bankers globally have been grappling with the conundrum of resilient labor markets in the face of contractionary monetary policy. From the United States to Europe, employers have been reluctant to shed workers despite rising borrowing costs and moderating demand. In Australia's case, this resilience can be partly attributed to the nation's position as a resource-rich economy benefiting from an extended commodities boom. Furthermore, the government's post-pandemic stimulus measures and business investment have helped buoy domestic activity. Yet the labor market's strength also reflects deeper structural factors that predate the current economic cycle. Australia has long enjoyed relatively high workforce participation rates and an enviable employment-to-population ratio compared to other advanced economies. The employment-to-population ratio and participation rate both continue to be much higher than their pre-pandemic levels, noted Bjorn Jarvis, the head of labour statistics at the Australian Bureau of Statistics, ABS. Together with elevated levels of job vacancies, this suggests the labour market remains relatively tight. For Australian policymakers, this robustness presents both opportunities and challenges. On one hand, a strong labor force can cushion the impacts of higher interest rates and sustain household consumption, a key pillar of domestic growth. On the other, persistent labor tightness could fuel further wage pressures, complicating the Reserve Bank's inflation-fighting efforts. Indeed, some economists caution that the pace of job gains may not be sustainable given Australia's swelling population, fueled by substantial immigration inflows. Devika Shivadekar, an economist at consultancy RSM Australia, noted, the RBA is likely to be quietly pleased with today's employment data, but added that the central bank is expected to continue its strategy of cautious non-action as it evaluates the labour market's evolution. The durable performance of Australia's job market stands in contrast to the prevailing global narrative of economic fragility and potential recession risks. While nations worldwide grapple with the aftershocks of the pandemic, supply chain disruptions, and the fallout from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the Australian labour force has demonstrated a quiet fortitude. However, this resilience should not be mistaken for immunity. As the Reserve Bank of Australia and the federal government have cautioned, unemployment rates are still projected to rise modestly in the coming years as the full effects of monetary tightening filter through the economy. Moreover, Australia's export-oriented industries remain vulnerable to fluctuations in global demand and commodity prices, which could trigger ripple effects across the domestic labour market. Yet for now, the nation's workers can take solace in their economy's resolute performance. In a world beset by economic shocks and heightened uncertainties, Australia has carved out an enviable niche as a bastion of labour market stability. This hard-won resilience is a testament to the nation's robust policy frameworks, diversified economic base, and perhaps most crucially, the perseverance of its workforce. As the global economy navigates treacherous waters, Australia's quiet labour market resilience offers a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in the stormiest of seas, some islands can withstand the tempest.